Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. Sometimes, what appears to be an ordinary coin can carry an extraordinary story. A story of history, design, minting errors, and hidden value. Among those hidden treasures is a coin many people overlook every single day, the 1984 Jefferson Nickel. This 5-cent coin, part of America's everyday currency for decades, might not catch your eye at first. But don't let its simple appearance fool you. Some 1984 Jefferson Nickels are worth far more than their face value, and in rare cases, they are worth tens of thousands of dollars. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. Designed by German-American artist Felix Schlag, it features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. The reverse side of the coin showcases Jefferson's famous home, Monticello. This building, with its distinctive dome and classic architectural style, has remained an iconic symbol of the nickel for generations. Over the years, the Jefferson nickel design has seen only minor modifications, but the core elements, Jefferson's portrait and the Monticello building, have stood the test of time. That's why collectors pay special attention to details that make certain coins unique. In 1984, millions of these nickels were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia coins bear no mint mark, while the Denver ones are marked with a small d to the right of Monticello on the reverse side, but not all 1984 nickels are created equal. While billions of them were produced, only a small fraction carry unique characteristics that make them valuable to collectors. These include mint errors, rare variations, and coins in nearly flawless condition. One of the most exciting and sought-after errors from the 1984 Jefferson nickel series is known as the full steps variety. These are nickels where the steps on the Monticello building are sharply struck and completely visible, a rare trait due to die where during production. A coin with 5 or 6 fully visible steps under Monticello is considered a gem in the numismatic world. It indicates a high-quality strike, and collectors are always on the lookout for these examples, especially in mint condition. But full steps isn't the only thing that sets a 1984 Jefferson nickel apart. Some coins from that year were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they were mistakenly minted on a blank meant for a different denomination, like a penny or a foreign coin. These errors are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors. Imagine a nickel with the weight and size of a penny. It's not something you see every day, and it sends collectors into a frenzy. Another variety that occasionally surfaces is the off-center strike. When a coin is not perfectly aligned during minting, part of the design appears shifted or even cut off. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Double die errors also occurred in some 1984 Jefferson nickels. This happens when the coin is struck more than once, causing parts of the design, especially the lettering, to appear doubled. In God We Trust, or Monticello, might show visible doubling under magnification. Beyond errors and varieties, coin condition plays a critical role. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with higher numbers indicating fewer imperfections. A nickel graded MS-67 or higher is incredibly rare and highly valuable. Most coins in circulation have scratches, wear marks, or discoloration. But some coins were never used. They were pulled straight from mint rolls, handled carefully, and preserved for decades. These are the coins collectors dream about. 1984 Jefferson nickels in uncirculated or mint state condition are becoming harder to find. That's because time wears down even the best-kept coins, and the pool of perfect examples gets smaller every year. The best way to preserve and evaluate such coins is through professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. These services not only authenticate the coin but also seal it in a protective holder and assign it a grade. Coins graded and certified by these authorities often fetch far higher prices at auctions or collector markets than ungraded ones. Certification provides trust, credibility, and proof of quality. Let's not forget the history surrounding the 1984 nickel. This was a time of change in America. Ronald Reagan was president, the Cold War was in full swing, and the economy was bouncing back. Coins from this era carry a slice of that history. When you hold a 1984 Jefferson nickel, you're holding a piece of the past. A snapshot of a year that saw cassette tapes, VHS players, and arcade machines fill American homes. Coins like these are more than money, they're time travelers. Many families unknowingly hold these nickels in old jars, coffee cans, or dusty boxes stored in the attic. With just a bit of knowledge and attention to detail, that forgotten coin might turn out to be something incredible. So, how do you know if your 1984 Jefferson nickel is worth anything? First, examine the condition. Is it shiny? Does it have visible steps under Monticello? Is there any doubling or a mint error? Then, check if it's graded or has the potential to be submitted for grading. You might be shocked to discover that a nickel that once sat unused in a drawer is now sought after by serious collectors, ready to bid thousands for the right piece. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes, the smallest coin can bring the biggest reward. Even a 5-cent piece like the 1984 Jefferson nickel can make headlines, if it has the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical charm. So before you toss that old nickel into a vending machine or drop it into a donation jar, take one last look. You might just be staring at a rare specimen, a coin that holds not just metal value, but a legacy of craftsmanship and an unexpected fortune. And in one astonishing case, a 1984 Jefferson nickel, preserved in pristine condition with full steps and a rare strike, shocked the collecting world when it sold for an unbelievable $88,000. That's right, from 5 cents to $88,000. That's the incredible journey of a small coin with a big story. Top 2. In the world of coin collecting, stories often begin with everyday objects. A coin that passed through countless hands may suddenly gain fame due to a unique trait. And one such coin is the 1986 Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent piece that may be hiding a secret fortune in your change jar. When most people think of valuable coins, they imagine golden relics from the 1800s or silver dollars minted centuries ago. But sometimes, the treasure is found in something far more modern, far more familiar, like a nickel from the mid-1980s. The Jefferson nickel, named after America's third president, has been in circulation since 1938. Its design has become a staple in American currency, classic, consistent, and quietly iconic. Felix Schlag, the German-born sculptor who created the original design, gave the coin a timeless appeal. On the obverse, we see a portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left. On the reverse, his stately home Monticello takes center stage, a structure as graceful as the coin itself. By 1986, the Jefferson nickel had already passed nearly 5 decades in circulation. Millions of them were struck that year at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The ones minted in Denver bear the D mint mark, while the Philadelphia coins feature no mint mark at all. At first glance, the 1986 nickel looks like just another common coin. It's made of a copper-nickel alloy, weighs 5 grams, and is 21.2 millimeters in diameter. But numismatists, those passionate students of coinage, know to look deeper. Why would a seemingly ordinary 1986 nickel attract so much attention? The answer lies in its small differences, the anomalies, the errors, and the untouched specimens that somehow survived the passage of time. One of the most coveted variations of this coin is the full steps version. These are Jefferson nickels where the stairs on Monticello are fully visible, sharply struck, and unbroken, a mark of rare precision during the minting process. Most 1986 nickels show soft, weak details on Monticello's steps due to worn-out dies or high-speed production. But the full steps variety reveals 6 clearly separated lines, a sign of exceptional quality. Even rarer are nickels with minting errors. In 1986, a few nickels were mistakenly struck off-center, giving them a fascinating misalignment. Others were double-struck or had die clashes, where design elements from one side accidentally appear on the opposite side. Such errors weren't caught by the mint and were released into circulation unknowingly. These flawed coins are now worth far more than 5 cents because of their rarity and the story they tell. Another factor that boosts a 1986 Jefferson nickel's value is its grade, the condition of the coin. Grading services like NGC and PCGS evaluate a coin's luster, surface, strike, and I appeal to assign it a grade on a scale from 1 to 70. Coins that score 65 and above, especially MS67 or MS68, are extremely rare for 1986 nickels. A coin in such pristine state is almost flawless, showing no signs of wear and only minimal contact marks from production. Collectors and investors actively hunt for high-grade nickels, often paying thousands at auction to secure such a rarity. The difference between a regular circulated coin and a gem-grade coin can be dramatic, not just in quality, but in value, and then, there's provenance. If a coin has a known history, especially from a reputable collection or an important auction, its value increases. 1986 nickels with authenticated mint errors or full steps often become centerpieces of collections. Let's not forget that the mid-1980s was an interesting time in American history. Ronald Reagan was president, the Cold War was in its final act, and the country was undergoing major economic and technological changes. A coin from 1986 captures a slice of that moment in history. It's more than a piece of metal, it's a symbol of the era, a small reminder of what life looked like in malls, diners, classrooms, and neighborhoods across the country. It's that blend of history, artistry, and chance that makes coins like the 1986 Jefferson Nickels so fascinating. You're not just holding money, you're holding a moment in time, a work of design, and potentially, a piece of fortune. You might be wondering, could I actually have one of these valuable nickels? It's possible. Many people find them in coin rolls, estate collections, or even in pocket change, completely unaware of their hidden value. To check your own nickels, use a magnifying glass and look at Monticello's steps. Count them. Are they fully visible? Are they separated by distinct lines? That's the first clue. Then, examine the overall condition. Is it shiny? Free of scratches? If your coin looks promising, consider sending it to a grading service. This step will professionally certify the coin's grade, preserve it in a secure slab, and give you a reliable value estimate. Even if your 1986 nickel isn't worth thousands, the hunt is half the fun. Every coin tells a story, and digging into that story makes collecting deeply rewarding, but every once in a while, a coin appears that defies expectations. A coin so rare, so perfect, or so uniquely flawed that it captures national attention, and reaches astonishing values on the collector's market. Such was the case with one particular 1986 Jefferson nickel. Struck in Denver with crisp full steps and preserved in flawless condition, this coin stood above all others. It was certified by a top-tier grading service and hailed as one of the finest known examples. When it came up for auction, collectors were ready. The bids poured in. What was once a humble 5-cent piece had transformed into a symbol of rarity and excellence. And in the end, it sold for a stunning amount, a jaw-dropping total of $84,000. That's right. A 1986 Jefferson nickel, once overlooked in everyday change, is now worth $84,000. Proof that in the world of coins, even the smallest treasures can carry the biggest value. Top 3. In the world of pocket change, some coins carry more than just monetary value. They carry stories, secrets, and in rare cases, an unexpected fortune. One such coin is the 1990 Jefferson nickel, a coin that most people overlook but collectors now hunt for with serious determination. At first glance, it may seem like just another 5-cent piece, passed through vending machines, laundry rooms, and cash drawers across America. But as seasoned numismatists know, some of the greatest coin discoveries come from the most ordinary places. The Jefferson nickel is one of the longest-running coin series in the United States. Introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, this coin has featured the profile of President Thomas Jefferson on its obverse ever since. Jefferson's stern but noble gaze, paired with the neoclassical beauty of Monticello on the reverse, became instantly recognizable. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin has remained a staple in American currency for generations. By 1990, the Jefferson nickel had already spent more than half a century in circulation. Millions of nickels were minted that year, including coins from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, identifiable by their P and D mint marks. With such a high mintage, it's easy to assume the 1990 nickel is common and unremarkable. But hidden within those vast numbers are unique specimens, coins that are unlike any others from that year. Collectors always look for full steps nickels, and the 1990 Jefferson nickel is no exception. Full steps refer to the detailed depiction of Monticello's stairs on the reverse side of the coin. When these steps are sharply struck and uninterrupted, it marks a coin of superior quality. Most nickels struck in 1990 show soft details and worn dies. But a small number of coins escaped the factory in pristine condition, showcasing sharp lines, crisp reliefs, and undisturbed luster. These are the ones collectors dream about. Even rarer are mint errors that occurred during the production process. Imagine a 1990 nickel struck off-center, where Jefferson's head is pushed to the edge. Or a coin double-struck, where images overlap in a ghostly duplication. There are also examples of coins with die cracks, clipped planchets, or even wrong planchet errors, where the nickel was mistakenly struck on a foreign coin blank. These errors are not just anomalies, they're prized rarities in the collector's market. Then there's the matter of grade. Coins are evaluated using a 70-point grading scale. The higher the grade, the closer the coin is to its original, mint-fresh condition. A 1990 nickel graded MS-67 or above is exceedingly rare and highly sought after. Most nickels from that year spent years in circulation, scratched, dulled, and tarnished. But the few that remained untouched are now commanding serious prices at auctions and among private collectors. Another factor to consider is the provenance of the coin. If it has been authenticated and certified by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC, its value increases significantly. These coins are slabbed and encapsulated in protective holders that verify their grade and authenticity. Some 1990 Jefferson Nickels come from original mint sets or uncirculated rolls that were preserved by collectors who had the foresight to hold on to them. Today, those coins are entering the market as premium finds. For the average person, it's hard to believe that something as simple as a 1990 nickel could be worth anything more than its face value. But coin collecting isn't about what the coin was worth, it's about what it has become. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins with historical significance, perfect condition, or striking errors. What started as spare change can transform into a museum-worthy artifact with the right qualities, and the thrill of the hunt makes it all the more exciting. Imagine digging through an old coin jar or receiving change at a diner, only to realize you're holding a small fortune between your fingers. So how can you identify a valuable 1990 Jefferson nickel? Start by inspecting Monticello on the reverse. Look closely at the steps. If you can count 5 or 6 full, unbroken steps, that's your first clue. Next, check for mint errors. Is the coin perfectly round? Are there any odd markings, doubling, or misalignments? These signs may indicate a rare error that significantly boosts its value. If you believe you have a promising coin, consider getting it professionally graded. A certified grading agency will examine the coin under magnification and provide a grade, and this simple step could turn your 5-cent coin into a 5-figure investment. Even coins without errors, if they are in exceptional mint state condition, can fetch thousands. High-grade coins from recent decades are surprisingly rare due to mass production and widespread circulation. The 1990 nickel also serves as a piece of history. That year, the world was undergoing massive changes, from the fall of the Berlin Wall to the beginning of the Internet age. This small coin carries the spirit of that transformative time. That's the beauty of coin collecting. Every piece in your hand is a time capsule, a small, round storyteller from a different age. And some stories are worth a lot more than you might expect. This Jefferson nickel from 1990 may look like pocket change, but to the trained eye, it represents rarity, history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery. And that's why collectors pursue it so passionately. Some numismatists spend decades searching for the perfect example. They compare grades, look for microscopic differences, and follow every auction hoping to find that one extraordinary coin, and then, occasionally, a coin emerges that outshines them all. A coin that is perfectly struck, immaculately preserved, and perhaps even carries a one-of-a-kind error that no other example can match. One such 1990 Jefferson nickel recently stunned collectors at an auction. It was graded in near-flawless condition, certified with full steps, and had a fascinating minting anomaly that made it a standout piece. Bidding escalated as collectors recognized the rarity in front of them. What began as a modest 5-cent coin from decades ago was now the centerpiece of a bidding war. In the end, the final bid left everyone in awe. That single 1990 Jefferson nickel, due to its unmatched condition and unique characteristics, was sold for a staggering total of $60,000. Yes, $60,000. That's what someone paid for a single Jefferson nickel from 1990. It just goes to show, the smallest coin in your hand might carry the greatest treasure of all. Top 4. Have you ever wondered if the change in your pocket could be worth more than just a few cents? Hidden within jars, drawers, and old wallets, there are coins that tell a much bigger story than their face value suggests. One of those stories belongs to the 1995 Jefferson nickel, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and historians alike. At first sight, the 1995 Jefferson nickel might not look like anything special. It bears the same familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic Monticello estate on the reverse. To many, it looks like just another piece of everyday change. But that's exactly what makes it so exciting. Introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and has since become a staple in American currency. Designed by German-American sculptor Felix Schlag, the coin was meant to symbolize stability, history, and leadership. Throughout the decades, the Jefferson nickel has seen subtle changes and minting developments, yet the core design has stayed mostly consistent. That makes spotting rare traits, like errors or special strike qualities, all the more intriguing for collectors. The 1995 edition of the Jefferson nickel was minted during a time when coin production was high, with both the Philadelphia and Denver mints churning out millions of pieces. Because of that, many assume these coins hold little to no collectible value, but assumptions can be misleading in the world of coin collecting. Even among mass-produced coins, there are outliers, coins that were struck with unusual precision, rare minting errors, or incredible preservation that make them worth thousands. The first thing serious collectors look for in a Jefferson nickel is the condition. Coins are graded from 1 to 70, with higher grades meaning closer to perfect condition. A 1995 Jefferson nickel graded at MS66 or MS67 is already considered rare, but one at MS68 or higher. That's where the value skyrockets. Then there's the hunt for full steps. This refers to the number of visible steps on the depiction of Monticello. If a coin shows 5 or 6 full, uninterrupted steps, it means it was struck with exceptional sharpness. These full steps coins are incredibly desirable and can be worth many times more than a standard version. Some 1995 nickels have been discovered with fascinating minting errors. Examples include off-center strikes, double die reverses, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. These errors make them exceptionally rare. Finding a 1995 nickel with any such error in uncirculated condition is like finding a needle in a haystack, but it has happened, and continues to happen to lucky or knowledgeable coin enthusiasts. Minting errors can occur due to mechanical misalignment, die fatigue, or feeding mistakes during production. While these coins were technically flawed, their uniqueness makes them treasures in the eyes of collectors. One remarkable example of a 1995 Jefferson nickel had an obverse die cap error, where the coin was stuck to the die and struck multiple times. The result was a warped, dome-shaped coin that looked alien, and incredibly valuable. Collectors also pay attention to the luster and strike of the coin. Luster refers to the way light reflects off the surface, while strike refers to how clean and strong the imagery appears. A coin with blazing luster and a full strike instantly commands more attention, and a higher price. Another layer of value is authenticity. Coins that are graded and slabbed by professional services like PCGS or NGC gain trust in the market. Buyers are willing to pay top dollar for coins that come with certified proof of grade and condition. Some 1995 nickels originate from original U.S. mint sets and have been kept in pristine condition for decades. These coins were never circulated and carry that untouched brilliance that collectors crave. The search for these coins has taken collectors through flea markets, estate sales, coin shops, and online auctions. Some of the rarest finds have even come from coin rolls purchased from banks, a reminder that treasure can sometimes be found in the most unexpected places. There's also a historical charm to this particular year. In 1995, the U.S. was experiencing cultural shifts, technological breakthroughs, and economic changes. Coins from that year serve as small time capsules from a unique period in American history. That's the fascinating part about coins. They are more than just currency. They are symbols of time, identity, and craftsmanship, and when they happen to be rare or perfect, their value goes far beyond 5 cents. Even more interesting is how many people overlook these coins daily. They spend them without a second glance, unaware that they might be handing away a tiny fortune. But for those who pay attention, the rewards can be incredible. As coin collecting grows in popularity, the value of high-grade or error nickels continues to rise. Demand from both seasoned and new collectors is driving prices upward, especially for rare dates or unique varieties. Collectors often look at registry sets, collections of the highest graded examples of each date and mint mark. Owning a top-graded 1995 nickel can complete a registry set and boost its total value by thousands. Many numismatists see coins not just as collectibles, but as investments. A rare Jefferson nickel can appreciate in value over time, making it a smart asset for those who understand the market. There's also a storytelling element. When you hold a coin from 1995, you hold a piece of the past, a metal memory from a time before smartphones, social media, or modern technology took over daily life. Every scratch, shine, or strike tells a different story. Some coins tell the story of wear and time, others whisper tales of factory flaws or perfection frozen in metal. The 1995 nickel is one such storyteller. For the curious, it's always worth checking your change, revisiting old coin jars, or picking up that forgotten coin collection from the attic. You never know what gem might be hiding in plain sight. Whether you're a casual enthusiast or a dedicated collector, the hunt for a rare 1995 Jefferson nickel is thrilling. It blends history, mystery, and the pure joy of discovery into one powerful hobby, and if you're lucky enough to stumble upon the right one, a coin with stunning condition, perfect strike, or an incredibly rare error, you could be holding far more than pocket change, because one such 1995 Jefferson nickel, with the perfect combination of grade, detail, and uniqueness, has been valued at an astonishing total of $50,000. Top 5. Let's take a journey into the heart of American coinage, a place where everyday change becomes treasure, and ordinary nickels hide extraordinary value. Today, we're talking about one specific coin, the 2001 Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent piece with a story that just might surprise you. The Jefferson nickel is a quiet legend in U.S. currency. First minted in 1938, it replaced the famous Buffalo nickel and became one of the longest-running coin series in American history. The 2001 version, minted at the start of the 21st century, is one of those coins you've likely held in your hand without giving it much thought, but as any passionate numismatist will tell you, not all nickels are created equal. Some are standard, struck in the millions. Others, a rare few, are born with characteristics that elevate them from pocket change to valuable collectibles. That's exactly what we're exploring with the 2001 Jefferson nickel. At first glance, this coin appears just like all the rest. It features Thomas Jefferson's left-facing portrait on the obverse, with "In God We Trust" curving gracefully along the left edge, and "Liberty" and the year 2001 etched clearly on the right. It's familiar, understated, and easy to overlook. Flip it over, and you'll see Monticello, Jefferson's Grand Virginia estate, standing proud, detailed, and still the central feature of the reverse. That classic design remained largely unchanged for decades, up until 2004 when the U.S. Mint temporarily introduced the westward journey nickels. This makes the 2001 Jefferson nickel one of the final coins in the traditional design era. That detail alone gives it some collector interest, especially for those building year-by-year collections. But there's more to this coin than just the design. Minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the 2001 nickel was produced in large numbers. However, despite that, not all coins struck that year are equal in quality or rarity. And therein lies the thrill of the hunt, looking for the unexpected among the common. Condition is everything when it comes to determining coin value. A 2001 nickel that's been in circulation, scratched, and worn is typically worth just face value. But one preserved in pristine condition? That's when things get interesting. Enter the grading scale, a system that ranks coins from 1, worst, to 70, perfect. When a 2001 Jefferson nickel is graded MS66, MS67, or even MS68, it instantly becomes a hot item in the eyes of collectors. Coins with this level of sharpness and shine are often found only in uncirculated mint sets. Collectors pay special attention to the details of Jefferson's hair, the clarity of the inscriptions, and the smoothness of the fields. Any mark, ding, or dullness can drop a coin's value, while a flawless finish sends it soaring. Then there's the full steps designation, a term that refers to the number of visible steps on the Monticello building. If the coin displays 5 or 6 uninterrupted steps, it means it was struck with exceptional precision. These full steps coins are highly sought after. Finding a 2001 nickel with full steps in high grade is rare. Not all dies were perfectly aligned or struck with equal force, and overused dies could leave details blurry. That's why a full steps example from 2001, especially at a high grade, is considered a gem. But beyond condition and full steps, there are other fascinating reasons why some 2001 nickels are worth a fortune. Error coins, the unexpected stars of the collecting world, add a whole new dimension to value. Some 2001 nickels have been found with striking errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchet, even some accidentally struck on a cent planchet. These errors are rare, dramatic, and extremely collectible. Double die coins, in particular, are thrilling finds. When the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions, it can create a ghostly doubling effect on letters or numbers. In 2001, a few such examples have surfaced and turned heads in the collecting community. Off-center strikes are easier to spot. Part of the design appears pushed off to one side of the coin, with missing portions of the outer rim. A perfectly off-center coin, with around 40 to 50% offset and full date visible, can fetch impressive prices. Another collector's favorite is the broad strike error, where the retaining collar fails and the coin expands beyond its normal diameter. These misshapen coins stand out visually and are favorites at auctions. Even without errors, coins struck during transitional or pivotal years tend to gain historical relevance. Since the classic Jefferson nickel design was changed in 2004, the 2001 version represents one of the final moments of a 66-year run. Because of that, many collectors view the 2001 issue as a closing chapter coin, the last of the old before the journey toward westward expansion designs began. That boosts its desirability even more among Jefferson enthusiasts. There's also the appeal of the unknown. Thousands of these nickels sit unexamined in albums, jars, and rolls, just waiting for someone with a trained eye to uncover a valuable specimen. That's what fuels the ongoing excitement around coin collecting, the idea that treasure still exists in plain sight. Coin shows, auctions, and online markets have witnessed bidding wars over high-grade 2001 Jefferson nickels. The key drivers: rare condition, dramatic errors, or combinations of both. And when a coin ticks all the right boxes, the prices can shock even seasoned collectors. Another factor that adds to a coin's value is its certification. Coins graded and sealed by trusted companies like PCGS or NGC come with authentication, making buyers more confident and prices more competitive. So how do you know if your 2001 nickel is worth more than 5 cents? Start by inspecting its condition. Is it shiny and clean? Does it have any strange doubling or misalignment? Can you count all the steps on Monticello clearly? Next, research completed sales online to compare your coin with those that have fetched high prices. If your coin shows similar traits, it might be worth getting it graded professionally, a small investment that could result in a big return. Collectors often say that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story leads to a big surprise. The 2001 Jefferson nickel proves that even modern coins can pack hidden value if they're in the right condition or have the right characteristics. So the next time you're handed a nickel in change, don't toss it in a drawer without a second thought. Take a closer look. You might just be holding something extraordinary, because one such 2001 Jefferson nickel, in near-perfect mint state and displaying all the right features, was sold for an incredible total of $38,000.